Well, hello, YouTube. Alright, you ever seen a ghost? A couple of times. I've seen ghosts, or what are known as ghosts, a few times. And that's a completely different that is a completely different can of worms that trust me, that we can open up here from my experiences with ghosts that I don't know what they were, to be honest. Were they ghosts? Possibly. Might have been something else. Should I tell a ghost story? Does anybody want to know about a ghost story? I could tell y'all some freaky shit. There's a ghost behind me. There's a ghost in front of me. Alright. So, let's go back a long time ago. It's a Goatwhore related ghost story. You don't like that? It's a Goatwhore related ghost story. So, we were recording Funeral Dirge for the Rotting Sun. And it was at this place called Noise Lab Studios. And it's no longer there. Hurricane Katrina took it out. But we were recording Funeral Dirge for the Rotting Sun there. And, there were stories that it was haunted and there was weird things going on in that place. But, I never really thought anything about it. But, so, let's start with the, maybe it was a ghost story. There's several different supernatural occurrences that had happened in that studio while we were recording. Now, we'll go through the three. So the first one, we were in the mixing room listening to some tracks. It was like 2 or 3 in the morning. It was myself and a guy, Dave Reynolds, that were sitting there and we were mixing some songs, and there was nobody else in the place. Completely empty. So we're just mixing away, kind of just sitting there. Didn't really have it too loud. We were just listening, a comfortable volume. And then we heard this, like, some running, because it was a 2-story. I'm sorry, let's clarify that. It was a 2-story building. So the mixing console was like on this floor, and there was upstairs with a living quarter up on that. And in the corner there was a spiral staircase that went up to get into the second floor. So we're on the first floor and we're mixing, and then all of a sudden we hear like people running around upstairs, like on the floor, just stomping and running. And I look at Dave and he looks at me and I was like, is there anybody else here? And he goes, no, there's no one else here. And then like we hear glass break in the kitchen in the back of us. We're like, oh fuck. So we get out the fucking room ready to fuck somebody up. I think when we got into the kitchen, we just like grabbed knives immediately. We're just like, somebody's been fucking killed up in here. So we get in the kitchen, we turn on all the lights, and there's like nobody there. And then we run upstairs, and there's like no one in any of the rooms. All the doors are completely still locked. Everything is just completely sealed. So we go back downstairs to figure out what that glass shattering was. And there was a coffee pot that was on one side of the room that was basically against the wall, opposite side of the wall of the mixing room, and it flew to the opposing wall of the kitchen. So it flew like fucking 12 feet and shattered like on the floor. across the room. Don't know how that happened. So that was a weird night. So there was another story, where same scenario. Myself and Mr. Dave Reynolds were mixing the record. This happened like all in a matter of a week, okay? So we're sitting there doing the same thing we were before. No, I was actually tracking guitars. So I was tracking my guitars. I was doing some stuff. And we had the side door open, and there was like, you're in the console room, and then there's a door right here, and there's a bathroom across the hall, and there's like a hallway that goes into the place where you record the drums and all that crap, and then the other way goes into the kitchen. So we had the door open to the mixing room, and I could see these like flashes out of the corner of my eye, but I didn't really pay much attention to it because I was concentrating on playing. And then we stopped, I stopped playing to track, and taking a little break. Then like half the equipment in the recording room, in the mixing room where I was sitting with the guitar, powered down and then came back on. Just half of it. And he was like, that was real weird because everything is on the same circuit, but only half of it shut off and half of it came back on. And there was the glass in the mixing room. If you've ever been in like a studio, there's a pane of glass where you're sitting in the mixing console where you could hear the tracks and you could see the people playing on the other side of the glass where they set up the drums and the amps and all that cool stuff. So right after that happened, we saw it was a handprint of like it would have been really cold and a hot hand touched it and like made like condensation in the shape of a hand against the glass on the other side of the glass. That was pretty fucking freaky. Me and him were just like, what the fuck? And like, we saw it, and as soon as we saw it, like it was there for 2 seconds and it disappeared. So that was pretty freaky. And there was another time to where we were in the same place. We were recording. We were taking a break for a weekend. Cephalic Carnage had played in New Orleans. So we're like, we're going to take the night off. We're going to go see Cephalic. And, we'll come back to the studio. And, we'll all crash here. It's fine. Don't worry about it, So we go to Cephalic Carnage show. Everything's cool. Show's over. Some people still want to party, so we're like, hey, we have the studio, we have an upstairs area. You want to stop, grab some beers, and we'll fucking hang out, because the Cephalic show was over like at midnight or something. This was like 1 or 2 in the morning, and people were still wanting to drink. So it was me and a couple of the guys from Goatwhore. I think maybe Pat and Zach Nolan was there. I think a couple of the guys from Cephalic came with us, and just some random other people. We're like, yeah, come on over, just grab some beer and go hang out. So we're hanging out in the upstairs area, okay, and everything is totally chill. Everybody's just drinking beer, listening to music, having a good time. And there were a couple of girls that were there, and one of the girls, there were bedrooms in the facility. If you were working late, you just go and you go to sleep, and then you wake up and continue working. It was a cool fucking studio. So one of the girls that was there was like, look, I'm real tired. I've been working all day. Can I go take a nap in one of those rooms? And we're like, yeah, of course, no problem. Go ahead. So she goes in there. Well, the reason she wanted to go take a nap because her friend wasn't ready to leave yet, but she was tired. So she goes in one of the rooms and passes out. Okay, no problem. Shuts the door behind her. All good. So everybody's like, oh yeah, whatever. So we're all partying, having a good time, acting up. And then about half an hour goes by, and she comes out of the room, like, almost in tears. You know, just real scared looking. And she comes out and says, like, something came in the room and touched me while I was sleeping. Or someone. I think she said, someone came into the room and touched me while I was sleeping. And the weird thing is that the door stayed shut the whole time. And like where the door was right there by the living room area that we were hanging. So no one went into that room. So the poor girl came out pretty fucking horrified. And we're like, no one went in that room. The door has been shut the whole time. So that was pretty creepy as well. But yeah, that's just a couple of my ghost stories. I have several more that I've seen some very unexplainable things. But anyway, sorry for my rambling, but that was the ghost story.